Welcome to Wisdom from the Mountain, a podcast about intuition, spirituality, and following your path. I'm your host, Tara Alexandria. I'm a psychic medium, intuitive guide, and healer. I'm here to support you to live from your intuition and find true healing and authentic growth. Thank you for being here and for your willingness to live your best life, for yourself and for the world around you. Today, we're talking all about our capacity to give and receive, to know that what we give out, we will get in return, that we will be supported with all of the support that we bring into the world. We're also going to be talking about how we can live up to the highest version of ourself, of how we can live in our highest energy, of how we can lean into our own evolution on a very daily level. We're also going to explore how we're coming out at this moment, how we are coming forward with ourself, with our energy, with the newer parts of ourself that we might have discovered throughout the past month, throughout this past season. This full moon has brought a gentle but very powerful shift. It's brought us an opportunity to present ourselves anew, but to balance that presentation with great truth, with deep understanding of where we've come from and where we're going. Every single lesson in our life is an opportunity to look deeply at ourselves and to question our own evolution. Are we progressing, or does it only look like it? So as I was listening for this message that wanted to come through this week, I was deeply feeling the importance of giving of ourselves. I was feeling the lesson of being able to give to others without expectation, with a caring, with a love that is simply coming from the need to be of service, to serve others simply because we are here and because we can. But I was feeling this lesson in connection with our reluctance to do so when we try to control things, when we try to be guaranteed that we will be given support and love and assistance in return. There's this question of, if I give away what I have, will I get what I need in return? This can apply to our money. This can apply to our career. This can apply to our love life. If I give my entire heart to my partner, will they return it? Or will I have to experience hurt? Will I have to experience something that, to me, seems too painful to face? It is so important for us to open up to our own capacity to give, to be able to give of ourselves on a physical level and on an emotional level, to be able to give service to others, to be able to give love to others. The highest messages coming through are all about balance. They're about trust, and they're about knowing that what we put into something is what we get out of it energetically. It's about knowing that we can come into balance on a grand scale, but it asks that we find the balance in opposites. Because often when we think of balance, we take it almost to an extreme. We think that what we most want in our world is peace. We think that what we most want in our world is to be doing only what excites us or only what brings us joy. But what we actually need in this life is to be able to flow with every single experience. And very often in this world, we have opposing forces that pull at us internally. We can have feelings of jealousy or anger and think to ourselves, all I want to be is happy and all I want to show is joy and peace. So I'm not going to even acknowledge those emotions. I'm only going to wear these surface emotions. I'm only going to allow these feelings to come up out of my body and into the world, because we are rejecting the opposite, right? We're rejecting the other side of the balance of the scale. But what is so powerful is when we find ourselves thinking one way, but feeling another, and we can pause and ask ourselves, how can I create harmony in this situation? How can I create harmony within these feelings? How can I use what I'm feeling for my highest good? What can I learn from this right now? And what is it teaching me? Sometimes, in order to express your highest version of self at this moment, all you have to do is change a single word in the sentence that's leaving your mouth in order to bring that much more peace or kindness or harmony into the conversation, into your life, into your experience with that other person that's listening to you in that moment. Sometimes, in order to contact the highest version of yourself at this moment, you need to experience anger so that you can channel that anger into a force of change, into your highest ideals that you want to reach for, that you want to use to help shape our society in a different way, or to shape your private life in a different way. Sometimes our more difficult emotions can actually be pointing out a deep lesson around accepting others or around holding others accountable. It can be so important to use those emotions rather than locking them in a box and putting them away. This energy is asking you, what capacity do you have to give to others the lessons that you are learning right now, that you are living out, that you are integrating into yourself? What capacity do you have to reflect back at another person a part of themselves that they can see clearly through your behaviors or through your actions, through your love, through your relationship with them? How can you be someone's mirror and send the energy to them that can teach them and that can lift them up? And it also asks you, what is your capacity to receive the same energy that you are giving to others? Can you receive acts of service from someone else? Can you receive when someone makes you food, when someone brings you a gift, when someone pays you a compliment? Can you receive that energy and allow them to give that to you? Can you receive with grace? Can you receive with feeling love for yourself because that was their intention to send you that little message of love? But not only can you receive the positive, can you receive the reflections of others? Can you receive this moment of seeing yourself in the mirror that others hold up around you? When you see someone who is in their anger and you feel your own anger coming up, you feel this mirror, do you simply project it at them and become angry that they are angry? Or do you feel their anger on a more collective level and understand that our anger is often a tool to change something in our life? If you see that their anger is about where they are in life, being in their relationship right now, what it's like to be in their own head right now, do you hold compassion for that and then think, where is my own anger coming from? Where is the root? And where is it being directed from there? Where am I sending it? Where am I bringing it out of myself and expressing it? Is that expression something that I am afraid of? So I simply project it at others and I'm only angry that others are angry? So ask yourself, can I receive this projection that others are giving out? If they are living this energy of giving me a reflection to view, can I receive that reflection and do something with it? Can I grow from it? Can I think through the lesson that it is bringing me in this moment? The highest version of yourself is not always the most seemingly holy, the most seemingly peaceful and evolved. The highest version of yourself is you having integrated all of the lessons of your life up until this point into yourself and using them in your life, using them in your relationships with others, using them in your work in the world, in what you value, in demonstrating who you are and the light that you bring to the planet. The energy of Aquarius is always progressive. It is always to bring progressive energies to the planet, to each of our lives, to push boundaries and to really be different. We can be radically peaceful, radically harmonizing, radically kind, and still express and harmonize these different elements within ourselves. We can still blend these opposing forces to understand what their role is in the greater plan of this life. Because something would not exist if it was not a part of the greater plan that comes from Creator, Divine, God, Universe. It would not be there if it did not have a purpose. So what are you giving out? What kind of support are you sending to others? What kinds of lessons are you reflecting out to others? How are you sharing your love with them? How are you sharing your kindness, your gentleness, your understanding and compassion? And how are you sharing your anger or jealousy or sadness? How are you sharing what fires you up? Those are important forces as well, because they all teach us something. The final part of this message is about coming out. Coming out. How many of us are in the closet about something in our life? How many of us are hiding something from ourselves or from another that needs to be brought to light so that everyone can see it, so that we feel better, so that we can use it to teach others, to guide others, and simply just to lift other people up, to show them where we are right now, so that they can have this greater understanding that helps them to accept themselves where they're at this point in time. This is a gentle but very powerful shift this month. It is a shift into greater harmony. It's a shift into presenting ourselves from great truth. Sometimes our truth is not beautiful. Sometimes our truth doesn't feel like harmony, but it leads to harmony. It grows harmony within ourselves, within another person, and within society itself. So who are you presenting going forward? How are you living out who you've become since yesterday, since last month, since the beginning of this past season? Who have you become? What lessons have you integrated? And how deeply have you looked at those lessons and how they've changed you? How are you holding up your light in the world? How are you exposing who you are, even the parts of yourself that can feel like, I just want this to hide behind a door, or I don't want to share this with anyone, or worst of all, thinking that it has no value? There is so much value in sharing. This message held so much about giving and receiving, but the word that encompasses both of them together is sharing. What do you have to share with another right now? What thoughts can you share with another? What resources? What care? What does it look like if you share this point in your evolution with another person? What does it look like if you bring yourself forward today in a way that shows fully who you've become since yesterday? We can be sure that the changes we've integrated in the past season are true, no matter if we feel that we've evolved or progressed or changed. We can be sure that the light of our own awareness has shifted us if we believe any differently, if we see ourselves more clearly, if we can understand and comprehend the situations between ourselves and a loved one that we did not understand before. The light of our own awareness has guided us forward in a brand new way, even if it's small. Even if the only thing we could see is how we needed to ask for a little bit more help around the house or with the kids. Even if all we were able to do was to see that, I think I'm holding myself back right now and I'm not doing exactly what I want. Even if we don't know what to do with that information yet, that information is an evolution because it has come into our conscious awareness. We were holding it somewhere in our subconscious, but now it has come forward and come out. So how are you coming out for others? How are you coming out for yourself? What has your awareness shifted into in order to show you, in order to teach you, and in order to be shared with others? Embrace this newer, truer part of you. Ask that this newer version of yourself take the wheel. Ask that this newer and truer version of yourself to start leading you from its values. Start asking, how have my values shifted and changed? How am I seeing things differently? What are the new choices that I want to make? How am I acting differently? How am I giving differently? How am I receiving differently? And how is that creating a greater harmony for not just me and my internal world, but the people around me, the people in my family, the people that I'm in relationship with, the people that I interact with, even from afar in my community? How is this impacting others? All of the energy in your life impacts others, even if you don't know them directly. You are impacting everyone in your world by the thoughts you think, by the way you feel, and the actions you take. Everything is deeply interconnected. And this interconnectedness is something that gives us power to change the world. It gives us a personal power, a personal stake to say, this is my evolution. This is my progression. This is my change. This is how I'm showing it. This is how I'm holding my light and giving it out to the world. And this is the container that I'm holding to receive the energy that is sent back from the world to me. And then it is your job to hold that energy for other people, to see how that energy can change and transform when it comes to you. And when they can see you and witness you, and how your holding of that energy can be so different from anywhere it's gone before. At this point in time, we have all had a huge opportunity to change our ancestral healing, to change our lineage, to change our communities through using forces that might have felt or might have been older or darker or not used from the highest vibration. Forces like anger. And anger is only a tool. So the way that you're using it could be to clean up your family history, to clean up the ancestral trauma, ancestral healing that has been being echoed down through our communities for generations. And we have the opportunity to heal it, to hold that force and use it for something greater. This can be as small as a little shift in your love life of telling your partner what you most need right now to give or to receive, and then them being able to hold the space for that, whatever that may look like. Know that what you give out to the world, what you reflect out to the world, is coming back to you in different forms of support, in different forms of energy, because it is all here to teach you. It is all here to lead you along a higher path, as long as you can hold every lesson that comes in and then change with that energy, to allow that energy to move you along in your own evolution, to help you to rise up and to become anew each day, to become more yourself, to become more aligned with the deepest parts of who you are. Trust in the flow, trust in the support, trust that The parts of you that have been cut away to be left behind because they no longer worked have revealed a better form, a better function, and a better feeling for you. Come out in this new way that you are walking forward in. Come out in this new version of yourself, a little bit more powerful, or a little bit more compassionate, or a little bit better of a listener. Whatever it looks like for you, come out and show that to all of us. Thank you so much for listening today, and happy full moon.